Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's start our lesson. And mostly active already here. Thank you for visiting. And first of all, I would like to ask you any question from the previous lesson. There we have seen difference of the chemical tankers, different of the tankers, and different type of the cargo. So if you have any question, you have a few minutes just to ask. I'll try to explain it and we will go to the next lesson. Please go ahead. No, as usually, no questions. So I consider that you understand everything. So on your exam, on the question, you will not to ask me something. So you had this chance before. Okay, so let's start the new lesson today. I'll share your screen. Let's see our screen. Well, now the video is recording. I will share with you the link on the Dropbox and you can see this video again. If someone busy going to the work or going to the somewhere, so you can check this video, you can learn this video later, no problem at all. Well, today we will speak about the tanker cargo system and manifold and operation. I would like to point your attention for it because as I say you previously, uh, in case the pandemic will go down, which I don't believe, but if the God will give us this chance, we will go to our classroom in our simulator room and we will pass there some trainings and some exercises and that will help you in future in your work on board the ship. But if not, at least you will see by the pictures, and I will try to explain you the system, cargo system on board the tankers. Well, it is very difficult to explain you by the pictures and by the hands, but at least I will try. Okay, why is not doing? Yeah. So the cargo lines in tanks and on deck used for transfer liquid cargo are termed, sorry, as cargo lines. So what does it mean? Here on this picture you can see the cargo piping. It is not so many. In some chemical tankers you can see the double, two times more than this one. So in this case we have all cargo pipings on deck. But if you go on board our cadet, vessel cadet, maybe some of you already been there, visited it, you can see the deck has no cargo pipes. All the cargo pipes are inside in the tank. So the tank has its own cargo pipes down. So, but doesn't matter. Both of them, cargo lines on deck or in the tank, are termed as the cargo lines. Well, let me okay. Next, the cargo lines leading from cargo pump to deck towards the manifold are termed discharge line. Be careful for this, please remember this, and that will be the question on your exam. And not only question on your exam, that's you will work, if you will work on board the cargo tanker vessel, you must very clear understand the cargo discharge line and cargo drop line. So we have a tank on board. In this tank, we have a pump. When the pump discharging the cargo, so it's sending it to the cargo line. And this one we calling the discharge line. So pump discharging the line. In opposite way, when the cargo coming from manifold, which I will show you later, to the drop line and the loading inside the tank. So this cargo line, call it the drop line. You will need it also when we will work on the simulator and also on board the ship. So be careful for these two different lines. Piping arrangement. So the chemical tanker has a different type of the pumping arrangement. And each of these one used for independent tank. So what is this? In the on the linear vessel, which I will show you later, what is the linear vessel? We have group of the tanks with the one cargo line. So in
Oh,
2, 3, 4, 5 tanks, you can load only one type, one grade of the cargo. But on the product tankers or chemical tankers, you can use every single tank with its own single cargo manifold. So you have a 25 cargo tanks or 30 cargo tanks, you can load 30 grade of the cargo. So that means difference between the chemical tanker and the linear vessel. So mostly the cargo pipes are fabricated with the stainless steel. Why we need the stainless steel? The stainless steel is because it's very, very solid and very strong. And this stainless steel can hold any kind of the cargo. So the cargo pipes has very high pressure for discharging and loading. So we must be sure that it will be not damaged, not bursted, not leaking. And every year, every 12 months, we have to test on board the ship all the piping arrangement, including cargo lines, including bunker lines and odd lines. But the cargo lines must be tested hydrostatically. So we have to press the water inside in cargo lines and build up the pressure 1.5 times greater, bigger than the maximum allowable working pressure. So what does it mean? If the manufacturer says us, okay, now that is vessel, we build the vessel and the cargo lines are suitable for the working pressure 12 bars. So every year we have to build up the pressure 1.5 greater. So we have to build up and test the cargo lines up to 18 bars. So remember it for 1.5 greater than maximum. So that will be question again on your exam. And not only my question, that will be question on the wetting inspector, port state control inspector, and so on. So what is the manifolds? Manifolds is the cargo pipelines to be correct, for each group or each tank. Doesn't matter. It's for one tank or for the group tank. It's a cargo manifold from the bow side, from the port side and from the starboard side. And they are equipped with the valves. So that is the extreme part of the cargo line. When we're loading or when we're closing, we have to close very on the extremely side, yeah, very close to the side of the vessel, just not to build up the pressure in the middle of the cargo line. So that's also we will check later, and I will show you. I will point it to your attention for it. So this is a view of the cargo manifold. Below the cargo manifolds, you can see the gradings, and that is the deep tray. Deep tray is the sum of the part, like a small big drum. If you have leakage during disconnection of the cargo manifold, the cargo must not to go on deck and overboard. No, it's going to the deep tray. So loading on board the ship can be via the shore hose or cargo arm. This is on the picture you can see the cargo arm. Yeah, please read it carefully. And here I will show you the video how the cargo arm, what it is and how it works. Oops, sorry. Won't works on the full screen. So that is muted video. I just wanted to show you and I will explain. That is a shore side. It is not on board the vessel. It is from the shore, is going to be connected on board of our ship. So it's remotely operated, always, remember, always with the shore operator, not the crew staff, not the crew on board. So it's taking the blank flange. Remember this moment, taking the blank flange. This you will use in simulator. You must to remove the blank flange from your manifold. So it's going to connect hydraulically, going with a high pressure hydraulic. Okay. And it's attached by the hydraulic system. Yeah. So now it's connected. Now you can open the valve and start the loading or discharge operation going to shore. So the same way is going to be disconnected when you finish your cargo operation. So it's the same way, no any difference. So you can see now this is a cargo arm, how it works. All right. And I just want to tell you one very important thing. This cargo arm is the from shore terminal. They are responsible for connection and disconnection. But you, as a duty officer, will be responsible for its safety. If the vessel will damage the cargo arm, you will be guilty. So they will make a letter of protest for you and your company has to pay. And when the company pays money, they are very angry and you will not get the bonus for the end of the year, for the end of the month. Okay, so be very careful for the safety of the cargo manifold. Why I'm pointing to it? So cargo manifold can be moved up to 0.5 up to 3 meters. When it's happened to move? Okay, I will tell you. You are connected by the cargo arm and you think the vessel is stable. Yeah, you have headlines, stern lines, breast lines, and so on. But during cargo move loading, the vessel is going to sit down. The draft is decreased. The vessel sit down. The line, mooring line, I mean, the mooring line slack. And if the wind will increase or other vessel will passing by near your vessel, so your vessel start moving up and down. And by the eye, you cannot see it. Even you don't feel it, but the vessel moving. And if the vessel moving, this cargo arm can be damaged or can be disconnected. In this case, could happen very bad situation, and you may see this situation. And next video I will show. Imagine now what the pollution is there. How many liters or cubic meters, tons gone away overboard. And imagine what the problem can have the duty officer who was responsible for it. Check again, watch it. And I hope you will never have this situation. So please be careful for the cargo arms. Cargo arms must be checked properly. Every hour, every hour you have to check your cargo lines and check the tightness of cargo lines, check the wind and so on. So be careful for it and we go further. This picture shows you graphically the system on board the vessel in cargo tank. So this is a red is a color. Red color is the cargo pipe. What I say here is the manifold. The manifold is going to be loaded. Okay, well, let's talk about the loading. The cargo is going through the manifold. Open this valve, and the cargo is going in this way in the drop line. This is the drop line. You can see here, drop line. This valve must be closed during the cargo loading. So the cargo will go through from manifold inside in the drop line. In case, and the cargo is going to fill up this tank completely. In case you are going to discharge, in the discharge, you closing this valve, close the drop line valve, start the pump, and cargo is going through this pump, open the valve. So remember, you always must to start the pump first, build up pressure here, open the valve next. So here must be pressure. And the cargo will go to the manifold. This valve closes, so this valve will not come here. Why you have to always start the pressure first and then only open the manifold, the discharge valve? Because if you have the cargo pressure, the pressure inside on the cargo ashore, and you open this valve, cargo pump is not running yet, you may have back pressure and you can damage the cargo pump, or even worse, the cargo from shore can come again here and you can have a overfill the tank. So that is a big trouble. So in case you are planning to do the circulation of the cargo, that is also some of the part of this one. You're starting the pump here, open this valve, build up pressure, open the valve, keep closing the manifold, but open this line, open the line, and the cargo will go here. So you taking the cargo and dropping in here. Why do you need to do this? In case you have a palm oil solidifying cargo, which we had talked on the previous lesson, in the solidifying cargo, you have to heat it. You have to make heating. Otherwise, you will have a margarine in tank. So you need to liquefy this cargo. This one, you see the blue lines is the heating coils inside in tank. So the heating coils heated, and you need to mix the cargo inside in tank. So you are heating here, taking the cargo and dropping from this line. Okay. Also, you can see the green line. The green line is a ventilation. When you're loading the cargo, it's cargo filling up this tank, filling up. The pressure is building, the pressure inside in tank. Yeah? And this gas has to go away. And this gas is going through the return line or through the PV valve, which we will talk later. So please remember, check this picture. That will be your questioning on your exam from this also picture. Here, just for your information, here we have radars. Okay, that is a tank to check the level inside in the tank. That is a radar, tank gauge. Well, here you can see the manifold. That is the manifold structure. So the manifold is going from here, going to the cargo pipeline and going inside the tank. The manifold is going here to the manifold, to the cargo pipe and going inside the tank. So that is the simple picture of the deck line. Now segregation of cargo. In case you have to loading different type of the cargo, let me say benzene and diesel. If you will not segregate the two type of the cargo between the or during loading or during transportation, I mean the shipment of the cargo, you will bring the port of discharge spoiled, contaminated. Remember this word, contamination, contaminated cargo, and that's is a very big trouble. Chief officer, captain, and even the duty officer can go home without any relieving. Yeah, so it could be discharged immediately. So why it is important? You must always have a two-valve segregation, minimum two-valve segregation. That means one valve could be spoiled, could be leaking, but the second one must to protect your segregation. The method of the segregation is blind spectacle flange and spool piece segregation. Just to check it here. So here you see the two valves here. So you must close one valve and close another valve. So in this case, the cargo will be here and will not pass to this line. Yeah. So that is the segregation by two valves. If this valve is leaking or not closed properly, the second one is the protection. Another one is the spool piece. You have here in this line one cargo, in this line another cargo. To protect this, you just dismount this U piece, take it off by the bolt, remove the bolt, dismount it, so the cargo will never come from this line to this line. But if you have to load two cargo in the same manifold, you just put it back here or put it back here, doesn't matter. They are compatible. And you can load the one grade of the cargo. So that is the segregation, what you see here, how it's segregated by the spool piece segregation, by the different valves and so on. That is picture what I have showed you. So in this picture, you have three segregation. So two is enough, but sometimes they put the three segregation to be sure. So in this segregation, you just have a one valve where I'm pointing hand. You have another valve here, and between of the valve, you have one more segregation. That is a spectacle flange. What is this? I will explain it here. So this spectacle flange, you see here, 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 everywhere the spectacle flange. Here is a blank, and inside is the hole. If you will remove these bolts, take the bolts off, put this blind flange inside. Here you will have a hole and the blind flange will be inside. So the cargo will never pass to this line, because this blind flange will be inside in the cargo pipe. So that is another picture. This is a picture of the cargo system on deck. And don't be afraid of it. So maybe someone say, "Wow, I will never understand it." No, don't worry. Every line is similar to another line. If you will follow to one line from the manifold up to the cargo tank, you will understand one time. And same you see repeating on the next cargo tank, and next cargo. So don't worry for it. So next is important thing is the cargo hoses. Cargo hoses you use for the several ways on board the tank. And sometimes you have to discharge via the cargo hoses, or in some cases, you have to connect the lines between the cargo tank by your own cargo hose. So you have on board few lengths. So some of these could be 6 meters length, 12 meters length, even 20 meters length. So they must be the flange here should be compatible with your manifold line. So if you have manifold 10-inch, you have to, this one, you must have reducer for 10-inch. And that is later on. It's not the point now. Also, again, the testing pressure of the cargo hose must be 1.5 greater than the working pressure. So if you receive the cargo hose with a certification, in this certificate, the manufacturer says, okay, this cargo hose must be worked on the 8 bar pressure. The working pressure is 8 bar. So every year, every 12 months, you have to test it and issue on board certificate with a pressure of 12 bar, so 1.5 greater. Also, you must to have the quality certificate for this cargo hose. This quality certificate says you which design material, working pressure, and what cargo you can carry out. So if it is a chemical resistance, you can use the chemical. If it is not chemical resistance, you cannot use it for chemical. You must check also the certificate of quality, the cargo line. That's of course is not your business when you are third officer, but when you will be chief officer, you must to follow this one. But I have seen the chief officer who is not understanding it and they connected the cargo hoses, the rubber, the bunker cargo hoses, they connected to the chemical. Fortunately, AB was more clever than chief officer and he was stopped him and reported. Otherwise, we could have a big troubles. Yeah? So that's why I include this to you material that you must know about. Doesn't matter who will stop dangerous operation, chief officer, second officer, or cadet. If someone stops the dangerous operation, that is very good compared to everybody knew about it and keep silent. Okay, so what I say you have additional old cargo hoses must be supplied with manufacturer resistance list. In this document listed chemical substances that will not damage the structure of cargo hose. So which cargo you can carry out by this cargo hose is always included in manufacturer resistance list. So that's in this picture you can see the cargo hose how it looks like. It's always has a protection here. It's a cargo hose. Oh, sorry. Cargo hose always has a rings. Rings we need it for the pressure of the hose, yeah? For the more pressure to keep, so the rubber will not burst, or for protected from vacuuming the cargo hose. Sometimes there is a vacuum also. The vacuuming can damage the hose. That's cargo hose how to be stored. It must be stored or this way, but this way is more dangerous because during the rolling, pitching, vibration, it can damage the hose here. So it's better way when the cargo hoses are in vertical position. And also this one is not the perfect, but at least it has less chances to be scratched or damaged. Every vessel you will find this cargo hoses picture, how is a correct way to connect, how is not correct way. So this way, if you will discharging via cargo hose, this one is not good, this one is good. So that's to be avoided. That's to maintain by crane and so on. Okay, next is the temperature system, control system. That why we need to control the system of the temperature controlling. Why do we need it? To avoid the chance the cargo to be freezed and solidified in the cargo line. So that's one is always is very important. but you must not to heat up it. In some cargo, if you will heat up it too much, you can damage the cargo. So that's why you need always to control it. And you have pressure sensor also, and the temperature sensor you have in cargo lines, in cargo tanks inside, and you have remote control. And you control it on bridge. Even you are third officer, you will control it on bridge also. So the temperature control, what I told you, it's mounted on the 3 stages in the lower part, mid part, and top of the part. So you have 3 different temperatures in the bottom, middle, and top of the tank. In this way here, you can see heating system. The heating system could be 2 types. One is the cargo heating coils. So the steam is going here in this line, steam or water going, heating the cargo and going back. So that is the heating coils, heat exchange process conducted inside of the cargo tank. But another way, we have a deck mounted heaters, yeah, here. So the way it's working, we can see here. Pump is started to work. The cargo is going, but not to the manifold, no. The cargo is going here in this way to the cargo heater, heating up here and going back to the tank, you see, back to the tank. So in this case, you're taking the cold cargo here, heating it and sending back already hot cargo inside the tank. That is very effective way. I like this way and everybody likes this way to heat the cargo because it's very effective, very fast heating and so on. The cargo heating coils is used on the big tankers for heating the crude oil and so on. In this case, cargo heating coils are not, in the chemical tanker is not so useful. In chemical tanker, product tanker is more useful to have a deck mounted heating coils. So how the deck mounted heating heat exchanger works? So it's, let me say, pressure of the steam is going in this way, going in the pipes and coming out. Yeah. So steam in, going and going out. And the cargo is coming from this room and passing from this room. So the steam is heating medium and the cargo is just passing. So it could be the deck mounting heat exchanger could be horizontal or vertical, doesn't matter. That's it also could be. See, but the principle of working is the same. I just made the picture for you, so that is my one of my vessels. So the cargo from this pump, I take the pump cargo, and here is a manifold, but I don't send to the manifold this way. I just send it here through this line. Through this line is going inside in tank, heating here in this heat exchanger, and going back into the tank. So again, the cargo is not going to discharge. So this valve is closed here. This valve is closed. So the cargo is going on this way and going this way, heating and going back to the tank. Also is the same here. Yeah, the cargo is taking from the tank, putting here in the heat exchanger and dropping back down. So if we need to discharge, no problem. We can go send and discharge it through this way. Some of the cargo tanks, slope tanks, are not equipped with the heating coils. It's equipped with the heating, so it's equipped with the heating coils, not with the heat exchanger on deck. So in this case, the steam is passing in these heating coils, heating the cargo, and it's going to be heated all of the way. Okay, cargo heating medium. Medium means what is inside in the heating coils. It could be steam, thermal oil, and also heated fresh water. So that is a question on your exam. What is the heating medium? Please read this page carefully. Cooling. I will not stop a lot for the cooling because it's really very, very seldom when you can see the very rare chemical tankers, but I never seen it for my experience. But it's also could be happen the cooling. Cooling is working the same principle as a refrigerator. Yeah? So just read it for your information. I will not put it on exam, but maybe you will need it in your future. Ventilation system. It's also part of very important thing. So the ventilation system is very important and very useful. Be very careful for it. Very so many times it was happened the bursting and explosion due to the lack of knowledge of ventilation system for the duty officer. Third officer was sleeping at that time or was not taking care, and he damaged the vessel. Be careful for it. And I will also. So ventilation, you have an open ventilation type, just open the tank, venting the tank. You have also controlled vapor emission control system, VEX. It's a controlling ventilation, so you can send the cargo gases, you loading, and the cargo gases must go on return line, vapor return line. But this, what you see, the PV valves is very important thing. It's your protection. If you forget something to open, the PV valve will release the gas. That is not so good. You will spoil the environment. Annex 6 of the MARPO will complain you, but at least you will not explode the vessel. So the question of this material is here, and please be careful, read it. It's again, meaning of drop line, where you can find on this page. Cargo hose, temperature, testing temperature. So you prepared your base, what you asking, the give me buzzer, give me buzzer. Buzzer, that is your buzzer question. Please go ahead. Okay, here's the ventilation, high velocity. I have another 10 minutes, we will speak about. That is the PV valve, PV, pressure vacuum valve. So they will release the extra pressure. But if they will work, that is also problem for you. So you must arrange your cargo operation without working this PV valve. Well, here is again small video how PV valve works. And this one, just video. Yeah, you must understand the principle of work. So cargo increase the pressure inside, and gas going, pressure is rising, and lifting up this plate. But on opposite way, when you discharge the pressure, when you discharge cargo, it works on other way. You suction the gas from outside, not the gas, sorry. Okay, when you discharge the cargo, and here the pressure is decreased, and you have a vacuum here, and not to damage the valve, the cargo tank, you have the pressure is of the air is coming inside. Well, that is next PV valve structure. So here you release the gas out, and from here you have a suction of the air. Just want to show you another video. Be very careful for the vacuum. Be very careful. That can damage your vessel. And it's a lot of problem already happened with the damaging of the vessel. You see? Yeah. That can happen with your vessel also. Okay, maybe you can say, oh, that is only the road track, and road track is not so powerful. But check another video when is a more powerful, the railway track. Yeah, that's could happen with your vessel also. And there was some bad experience situation when it was happened. Here, what was not long time ago. You can see the video on YouTube. Do you know what the cargo is here? That was a styrene monomer. And do you know what was the problem here? The duty officer was not taking the care about the pressure inside in tank. The pressure was negative, and the tank was inerted. So nothing will happen inside in tank. But the pressure was negative, and the styrene monomer is a solidifying cargo and was solidified the PV valve. And when the alarm come in the cargo control room, third officer, young third officer, so not the first time, second time probably on board, and he was squeezed the alarm. And when he was squeezing alarm, then nothing happened. He don't say to the people on deck, to his AB, to release the pressure. And the tank was damaged. And when they damaged the tank, the air from outside very fast going inside in the cargo tank was happened the intrinsic that's intrinsic, so the static electricity was created, the spark, and the vessel was bursted out. So that is happened. Please take care, and because that is your life and the life of people. Flame arresters, that is not useful. It's just avoiding if you have fire on deck. It will protect the vessel to other tanks to be fired also. But so venting system, that is the important thing and very lot of questions. What is the vapor return or recovery system? So it's always painted yellow and red. Yellow and red. Here, how it works. You loading through the cargo manifold here, and here the cargo manifold. The cargo is going inside in cargo tank and return the gas from the yellow manifold. So here is the shore side, and this is the vessel side. From the shore side, you receive the cargo. You receive cargo going here. The gas vapors are going through the pipeline, the cargo return line, and going inside in the shore terminal. Sometimes when you are young, of course, but you must remember when the tanker vessel arrived in Batumi port, and then when they load it, you can feel the smell of the rotten eggs, spoiled eggs. That is the, we call it serucha, and fill it up the H2S. So what's happened? They had not this line return, and when they loaded the cargo, they release the gases in atmosphere, and that's why we can feel this H2S smell. But in Europe, if you will do this, you will be jailed. You will go to the prison. So that's why you need to make a recirculation, going back to the cargo part. So that is a vapor return line. Always remember, it must be painted yellow with the red straps. And very important thing, here you can see the pin stud. So why we need this stud? That must not be attached. It is always fixed, and that is protect that you will attach here the cargo manifold. So be careful for it. Always question from the um, inspectors why we need this stud, and you must be ready to answer it. So we have a two type of the venting control system. The first is the PV breaker and secondary means is the PV valve. So first of all, you have to check it by the controlling of the pressure inside in the tank by the remote sensors. But if not, you have secondary means. So your last defense not to have explosion, that is your PV valves. Okay, high level alarms. This one, let me see. Oh, not so many remaining. So high level alarms, when you fill the tanks up to 98%, it will, you must never lower the cargo tanks more than 98%, never. So you must stop better 95%. That means a high level alarm. And when you have a 98%, it's tank overfill. Over 98%, you must not to load. If you will load it, you will have a pressure, you will have a problem. You can see the cargo on deck. So the night, how it works, the cargo high level alarm inside the tank, when the cargo touch this ball, it gives you alarm. When they touch this ball, you must stop the cargo loading. And this one is the panel. You see the cargo lines, the lamps are leading here. So that means cargo alarm overfill. That is a cargo control room from where you have to do any operation. That's cargo control room. Here is the Framo pump, all the control. That is one of the my vessel cargo. It's my picture. And here is again the questions which you will have on your exam. Please prepare it. And thank you very much for your attention. That is okay. Now it's time for questioning. And let me do the print screen. So that is the time for questioning. Print screen. Okay. 29 visitors today. That's not bad. Of course, not all, but it's okay. Yes, Tango, please go ahead. Tell me your question. Or someone who wants to make a question, please go ahead. No? No question. Bravo. That is very, very nice. I like it. No, thank you. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Take your time and see you next week. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.